Hey guys, guess what? I'm turning blue. Unfortunately, when I tried to get my food coloring out of the box, the lid popped off and it got all over my fingers, and it's so hard to get off, so you gotta be very careful with food coloring. But anyways, we're gonna talk today about something that happens quite often in our world, and it's very important for our world, and that is rain. What is rain, and why does it rain? Now, rain is a cycle. A cycle is like making a circle. So if you can make a circle with your finger, this is what the rain does. You don't normally see the rain doing this. You normally see the rain just coming straight down, straight down. But the rain's actually making a circle. So it starts off by what we have on Earth, on the ground. Your big bodies of water, like your lakes, your oceans, your rivers, even your pool, even this glass full of water. It doesn't have to be a huge thing, but any kind of water or liquid that's on the ground is what is going to go up into the air. Now, it doesn't make sense because I don't see this water just automatically rising up. It's called evaporation. Can you say that with me? Evaporation. Big word. Evaporation is when this liquid, see, like, it's liquid, it makes drops, it starts to go up into our air. And I don't see that floating around because guess what? It went from a liquid to a gas. Now that's going to be kind of tricky to explain. A gas is kind of like invisible. Sometimes you might smell a certain type of gas because there's different types of gases out there. There's not just the water, but it's invisible. And it's what makes our air moist. And so it's going from our liquid form, turning into gas, and it's going up into the air. Now, there's a reason why clouds are formed. So clouds are kind of fun to look up in the air and try to find shapes in them. But it's neat because clouds have a purpose. We have clouds up in the air because that water that came from our bodies of water, our lakes, our rivers, our pools, our glasses of water, that changed from liquid to gas and they're floating up in the air. Well, heat also floats up in the air. Down here on Earth, it's a lot warmer than it is the higher you go, which is weird because they say heat rises, but in our atmosphere, it doesn't. So you may have seen mountains before, and you're like, wow, that's a really cool picture of a mountain. And guess what? It looks like there's snow on top of that mountain. That's because there is. Most mountains have snow on top of them because the higher up you go, the colder it is. So it is colder, so it has snow where you can be down at the bottom of the mountain wearing tank tops and shorts, but you have to go up to the top, and it's not going to be freezing cold like you need a winter coat, but it'll have snow. Might need a few more layers on, like maybe a sweater and jeans, but it's colder up top. So that's what happens with our water. It goes from liquid form to gas, and it keeps rising, and then it gets cold, and it starts to kind of go back into another form, and it forms into like a solid, which is just so weird for our brains to comprehend it, and I know it. So they go into like little droplets of water, and that's what forms our clouds. They all clump together because it wants the heat, it wants to stay together. And that's how you get a cloud. And then you have clouds, and that told us how we got up to the sky, but how do we get it back down on the ground? Let me show you. Squirting out a little bit of water here. Here is my water, I guess. Here's my clouds. Do you think the cloud is going to sink into the ground? No, because the clouds float, don't they? Yeah, we don't see them flying down on our level. They float. Now, pretend when I squirt this little blue drops in, that these are actually those little raindrops that I talked about when you get up in the air, in the atmosphere. That's really high up. They're forming little drops, and they're going to come together. So I'm going to add some little drops of rain in here. They're forming drops of water. And now let's see what's going to happen. You can kind of see that they're sinking down through our clouds, aren't they? That's neat. And they keep going lower and lower. And I wonder what's going to happen. Because as the rain comes closer and closer to making the clouds, it's still cold up there. That's why they chilled up. And when it gets too much has gotten on here, that's when rain is going to fall. So I might need to add a few more raindrops, I guess. More rain. Oh, and you see it? My rain is starting to fall because the clouds got too heavy. There's too much density, too much water all of a sudden put together that it's starting to rain. And that's why clouds are formed and rain happens. Because now it's too heavy up there, so it comes back to the earth. And then guess what? Once it comes back to the earth, it goes through the whole cycle again. So we have our circle going. We talked about how it goes from the lake to the air and the gas, becomes little beads, turns into a cloud, gets too heavy, it starts to rain, and it's going back down. And now we have our cycle. We have our rain cycle. You can kind of see it. Isn't that neat how you can kind of see the rain slowly coming down? That's how we get rain. Now, you may be wondering, so that's rain. Well, how come in the colder weather we get snow or even hail? Now, the higher up in the atmosphere you go, that is how it determines basically what is going to fall from the clouds. You're either going to have your little simple raindrops, and they're very itty bitty small little drops, and they come down about 18 miles an hour, which is not fast at all. That's like slower than when you normally drive in your car in town. Slower than that. But that's about as fast as they're coming down. And basically, as they go higher up into the sky, so if a cloud is lower, it's going to be rain. But if it goes up higher, it gets colder. And that's when you're going to get your hail. Those like chunks of ice kind of that kind of fall down sometimes. And even though that might happen in the summer, that's why, because it came from higher up clouds, and it got really cold, and then the clouds got too heavy, they couldn't hold anymore, and that's why it came down into our rainstorms with little chunks of hail. And then snow is the same. It's colder and colder and colder. The higher up you go, the colder it is, especially with our atmosphere and the way our earth is turning, and it turns into snowflakes. And that's how the snow starts to fall down. Isn't our world just really unique on how things happen? I love learning about this sort of stuff, and I'm so glad I get to share it with you guys. This is a cool project. You can do it with yourself, or with your mom or dad or grandma, or someone at home, sister, brother, anyone. It's kind of neat. I'm curious what happens when I push this down, though. It's getting a little windy here now. I wonder if it's going to rain. I'm curious what would happen if I mix the clouds. Makes a pretty color here. I thought maybe I might make it rain a little more. Pretty neat. Don't eat it, even though it looks so yummy. This is shaving cream. Not cool. Alright, I hope you guys learned something about rain, because I thought that was a pretty neat lesson to learn about. We're going to keep learning more about our atmosphere and different parts of our weather that happen and why things happen, because it's just unique to know more and more about our world. See you guys next time. I miss ya.